Episode 8: Education and Economic Growth. Education stands as the backbone of any economy. It is the key that unlocks opportunities, fuels growth, and drives a society forward. When a country invests in quality education, it's not just investing in its people, it's laying the groundwork for economic stability and long-term prosperity. In this episode, we will explore the powerful connections between education and economic growth, examining how education empowers nations to thrive. An economy is like a complex engine powered by the skills, resource, and knowledge of its people. It's not just about money changing hands. It's about the movement of ideas, the productivity of workers, and the strength of industries. Just as an engine relies on each part functioning smoothly to generate power, an economy depends on its workforce to drive growth. And at the very heart of this engine lies education. Education doesn't just prepare individuals for their careers. It equips a society with the tools needed to solve problems, innovate, and remain competitive on the global stage. Picture education as the fuel that keeps this economy engine running. Without a steady flow of skilled, knowledgeable people, the engine stalls. But with high-quality education, each part of the economy runs more efficiently with workers who can adapt to new technologies, create new products, and increase productivity across sectors. Take, for instance, a farmer in a rural village without any formal training. They might rely on traditional methods passed down through generations, producing a modest yield that sustains only their family. But with just a few years of education, they might learn more farming techniques, how to enrich soil, prevent crops disease, or use simple technology to maximize output. This farmer becomes more productive, generating a surplus that they can sell, which brings income into the community. They hire neighbors to help, spreading income further and creating more stability. This simple example shows how education lifts individual earnings, which in turn uplifts the surrounding communities. When many more individuals in a society gain similar skills and knowledge, the benefit starts to scale. Skilled workers allow companies to become more efficient and competitive, generating higher profits, which in turn create more jobs. Educated workers also tend to earn higher wages, and as they do, they spend more, driving demand for goods and services that support business of all sizes. This cycle of earnings, spending, and job creation becomes a self-sustaining loop, much like a well-oiled engine that keeps powering forward. Education also fosters adaptability in the economy. Think of how quickly technology changes with new device, software, and the processes merging every year. For an economy to keep pace, its workforce must be adaptable, ready to learn and apply new skills as industries evolve. Education builds this adaptability by teaching foundational skills in literacy, numeracy, and problem solving that can be applied to new challenges. Workers in a highly educated economy can transition more smoothly between industries, keeping the economic engine running even as certain parts of it evolves or change. Education also fuels innovation, just as an engine can be fine-tuned to maximize power. Education primes individuals to question, explore, and push boundaries. Educated minds generate new ideas, develop cutting-edge technology, and push industries forward. Today in Nigeria, barriers like high unemployment, skill gaps, and an informal economy limit sustainable growth. Over 60% of Nigerians' workforce is employed informally, often in low-skilled, low-paying jobs with limited paths for advancement. To unlock its economic potentials, Nigeria needs an education system that builds a workforce equipped not only with basic literacy but with technical, creative, and digital skills. History has shown that meaningful improvement in education leads directly to economic growth. One powerful example is Poland. Back in the late 1990s, Poland faced significant challenges within its education system. Schools were grappling with outdated curricula and teaching methods that relied heavily on rote memorization. Students were being tracked into academic or vocational pathways early, often limiting their future career options. The system also lacked consistency and accountability measures, and many students in rural areas struggled to access quality education. Recognizing that these issues were holding back both individual potentials and national progress, Polish leaders embarked on an ambitious journey to reform education in a way that would prepare the country for the demands of the modern economy. The turning point came in 1999 with a series of sweeping reforms that restructured Poland's education system from the ground up. The changes were designed not only to improve academic outcomes, but to create a more adaptable, skilled workforce that could drive economic growth. The first major reform was a shift in structure. Poland transitioned from an 8-year primary education system to a model that included 6 years of primary school followed by 3 years of lower secondary school. This restructuring meant that students spent more time developing foundational skills before choosing a specialized academic or vocational track. Delaying this choice gave students additional years to build critical thinking and problem-solving abilities, essential skills that would serve them well in various fields. Alongside this structural overhaul came a modernization of the curriculum. Educators moved away from a focus on memorization, integrating courses that emphasized critical thinking, creativity, and adaptability instead of rote learning. Students were encouraged to engage in discussions, analyze problems, and collaborate with peers, skills that prepared them to tackle real-world challenges. This shift was pivotal as it aligned educational outcomes with the competencies that modern industries were seeking, from analytical skills to teamwork. Poland also introduced standardized assessments to track students' progress and ensure accountability across schools. This provided educators, policymakers, and parents with measurable insights into the effectiveness of the reforms, allowing them to make adjustments that would keep the system aligned with Poland's educational goals. The reforms went beyond classrooms too. The Polish government made a bold decision to decentralize education administration, shifting many responsibilities from the national government to local authorities. This transfer of control enabled local government to tailor educational strategies to the specific needs of their communities. For instance, local leaders could allocate resources to understand areas focused on vocational training in regions where industry's demand was high and address local challenges with more agility. This decentralization was instrumental in making the education system more responsive and connected to the communities it served. The outcomes of these reforms were profound. Within just over a decade, Poland's students began to excel in international assessments such as the OECD's Program for International Student Assessment, PISA. By 2012, Polish students ranked among the top performers in Europe, particularly in reading and science, demonstrating significant progress in academic performance. The country also saw a surge in higher education enrollment, with the percentage of 30 to 34 years old holding a tertiary degree rising from 12.5% in 2000 to 45.7% by 2018. This boost in educational attainment equipped a new generation of Poles with the skills to meet the demands of a rapidly advancing economy. Perhaps most remarkable, Poland's improved education system played a direct role in economic growth. With a better educated workforce, the country attracted foreign investment, particularly in technology, manufacturing, and engineering sectors. Ready to see how education can reshape a nation? Join us on a journey through Nigerian secondary schools where hope meets struggle and innovation sparks transformation, from crowded classrooms to digital breakthrough. Each episode dives into real stories, powerful solutions, and the future we are building for every student. Companies saw in Poland a pool of skilled, adaptable workers who could drive productivity and innovation. As a result, Poland's GDP per capita grew considerably, with the country becoming one of the fastest growing economies in the early 21st century. The economic transformation reinforced the impact of the education reforms. Poland's investment in its people became a foundation for national prosperity, as educated individuals contributed to stronger industries, higher productivity, and a more resilient economy. Another compelling example of education-driven transformation is South Korea. Following the devastation of the Korean War, South Korea's economy was primarily agrarian, with low productivity and limited industrial base, facing overwhelming economic challenges. South Korea turned to education as a key lever for change. The government recognized that to emerge from poverty and build a competitive economy, they would need to invest heavily in human capital. In the 1960s, South Korea launched a series of educational reforms that laid the foundation for what would become the miracle on the Han River. At the core of this reform was a commitment to making education accessible at all levels. The government established policies to ensure universal primary education, quickly bringing literacy rates up across the country. As these students progressed, South Korea expanded access to secondary and tertiary education, building an entire generation of skilled workers capable of supporting emerging industries. But it wasn't only about access. South Korea also transformed its curriculum to align with demands of a modern economy. A strong emphasis was placed on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics STEM subjects, STEM. This focus on STEM education produced a highly skilled workforce, setting the stage for South Korea's rise as a global leader in technology and innovation. Major companies like Samsung and Hyundai were able to grow into world-renowned brands, fueled by the technical experts and innovative spirit fostered through the nation's education system. In addition, the curriculum changes. South Korea also invested in teachers' training and professional development, ensuring that educators were well equipped to deliver high-quality instruction. The government implemented rigorous standards for teachers' qualification, and teachers were given opportunities for continuous training, which helped elevate the entire education system. The result of these educational reforms were profound. By the 1980s and 1990s, South Korea had transitioned from a low-income economy to one of the world's leading industrialized nations. The impact of education on the economy was evident in workforce productivity and adaptability. As a result, South Korea became a global hub for technology, manufacturing, the electronics, with a highly educated population that could adapt to rapidly changing industries and technologies. Today, Nigeria finds itself grappling with some of the same educational hurdles that countries like Poland and South Korea once faced: outdated curricula, limited vocational options, and scarce resources for critical fields like science, technology, and agriculture. For instance, in many Nigerian secondary schools, the curriculum remains theory-heavy, with a limited emphasis on practical skills and problem-solving skills that are essential for a modern competitive workforce. Addressing these issues calls for fresh perspective and innovative approaches tailored in Nigeria's unique education landscape. In our next episode, we will explore the creative, groundbreaking initiative emerging across Nigeria, tackling these challenges and paving the way for a new era in education.